Hello, my friends. So this one I'm actually kind of excited about. This is the new version of Traffic Slide. So if you're a fan of Traffic Slide or Halftone Motion, I have contacted Juicebar and I've been trying to figure out a way to make it so that if I have an update to these patches, if I can just add them to my list, and then that way if you want the new version, you get it for free because you already own the original. So in this particular case, this is Traffic Slide 2.0. I've made some quick little updates. I added in a random generator based on the tap of the beat, or you can actually change it with your own random. So you just set to trigger and then just hit the random button as you so see fit. Also, it has some options to change the color. You can change the type of shape, whether you want a solid or you want an edge. You have the edge thickness if you want to change that in each of the cases. There are 3 sets. You can change them. You can make them very, very thick or very, very thin. It's up to you. You have the option to actually also change the opacity to those specific sets. So for instance, if I want this one to be very, very light, or if I want it to be really, really fast and light, so that it gives this kind of effect, right? You have the ability to do so. You can change it in many different ways. So if you liked the original Traffic Slide, or if you like the new Traffic Slide, here it is. This is what it's going to look like. I have some presets for you. I have this one that looks very much like, reminds me of Atari. I have a electric pop. I have the jungle. I have just a few different ones. I have the rain. And each one does something different, right? So that was pretty much it in a nutshell. I just wanted to kind of give you a quick rundown as to how they look. You can change the look of the overall Traffic Slide, right, by changing you can set it to display, so you could change it to darken. If you had something playing in the background, for instance, and you had darken set up, you could then change the opacity to each of the sets. You also have the option to change the background. You can make it so that it's horizontal or vertical. You can also change it to radial, as it is now. There's a series of different options in here. You can just fiddle to your heart's content and get it where you want it. So that's Traffic Slide. And then also there is the original Halftone Motion. This was the original graphic, the first patch that I had ever created for Juicebar. I am very happy to be able to go back to this one and fiddle with it and add some new features and whatnot. So this was the setup for that. So we have, you have your value noise, you have your Perlin noise. Oh, sorry. You go to fractal, and then you have your Perlin noise, you have your value noise, and then you also have your simplex noise. And each one is also changed, is also slowed down by the pattern cycle and the cycle direction. So if you slow that down, right down, you can get it to a slow speed. And let's see, we have options for like cycle start, where the color cycle starts. You can modify that. You have the option to modify all kinds of different things, where before I was learning more about how wire was working, and this was my very first patch. And I've had some time to refine my ideas. So like, for instance, you could do ping pong, where now it's the colors are repeating over. So you have red to blue to red, back to blue, so on and so forth. And then you have clamp, which gives you this kind of interesting effect, right? And then you also have repeat, where it's repeating the colors over and over and over. So there's all kinds of different options in here. You also have the option to add to the pattern. The original pattern that's going on behind the scenes is a black and white, right? And then I'm just rotating through the colors. I'm color cycling, but I'm also color cycling the pattern, right? So in this particular case, I also gave you the option to change your brightness and contrast of the original pattern that's going on behind the scenes. There may be cases where you want it to be real tight as far as how the contrast is moving. So I gave you the option to change that pattern behind the scenes so that you can fiddle to your heart's content, right? And that's what this is really all about, is to give you something for your background that is, useful. So there's all kinds of cool presets for this one as well. So you could go to default, which is this, right? There's, again, Atari, right? And then we have blue shimmering. There's the Broadway lights, which I thought was visually interesting. You have Busy Bees. There's all kinds of fun stuff to play with here. Electric Avenue. Gold halftone pattern, which I thought was nice. Noisy red, which ramps up and starts really blinking and then goes back to a slow speed. So it cycles through the patterns. That was very interesting. But you can just, there's all kinds of options here to play around with. For instance, if we go back to the original, right, we go back to default, we also have the option for a glowing outline, which is something that wasn't in the original. And you can increase that glowing outline to really stick out. You have the options to change the colors of those glowing outlines, right? So if you wanted this to be like gold, right, and so you get this nice little effect. But you can also add it with the solid with glow, so that if you take this down, now you have these edges that are being pushed in. And so you get this nice effect, right? And you can change the color cycle so that it cycles faster. You can change the cycle direction so it goes backwards. There's all kinds of fun stuff. The world is your oyster. So those are my two new patches, or actually my two updated patches. I plan on probably making some updates to some of the others as well. Things that I really wasn't thinking of at the time, or things to improve the speed of the patches. That's another thing that I've been really learning more about, and so I wanted to that was the reason for some of the updates. But overall, some of it is also just because Wire has also changed in the last year. There are certain effects and nodes that weren't available when we first started this patch, or when I first started this patch. So in any case, thank you very much for your interest in my patch. I will leave a link in the description if you're interested, if you haven't purchased the patches and you want to find out more. But also, if you already have the patch, then you have the ability to click on the update. Thank you very much for your interest in what it is that I do, and I appreciate your time. I hope you're having a great day. Talk to you later.